We've all scrolled through Instagram and imagined a different life. Sunnier skies, bigger opportunities, or a fresh start somewhere new. But expats everywhere have a quieter conversation about the small, unexpected things they truly miss. Today we're having that conversation specifically for Canadians, uncovering these realities so you can make clearer, smarter decisions about moving abroad. While we're focusing on Canada, much of this applies to most Western countries, so anyone planning to leave their Western life will benefit from this information. Stick around until the end. The insights in this video could make a big difference in planning your move. It's not about regretting the move, it's about being prepared for the full picture. Let's get into it. Trade-off number 1, your financial life becomes shockingly complicated. Here's what to expect and how to prepare.
The first surprise often hits right where it hurts, your wallet. Back in Canada, your financial life was likely a well-oiled machine, with organized accounts and an established credit history. Once you move, that system can be upended. Your Canadian credit history becomes invisible in many countries. No new Canadian credit cards or loans for many non-residents. Applying abroad without local history often fails. Some banks may freeze or close accounts when you declare a foreign address. Renting, signing phone plans, or getting insured often requires local credit. You may need large deposits or guarantors. Driver's license and insurance history often don't transfer. You may retake tests or pay high premiums. You become a financial acrobat, juggling accounts in 2 systems, exchange fees, and compliance headaches. Plan ahead, set up international-friendly banks, maintain a Canadian account if possible, and expect paperwork. The worst part was being told I had no history, even with a full bank balance back home. You can be solvent yet treated like a brand new customer abroad. Checklist before you go. Talk to your bank, set up international transfer routes, and secure references. This is one of those foundational trade-offs. Manageable if planned for, crushing if ignored.
The Canadian healthcare system is a source of national pride and security. We carry our provincial health cards like a talisman. When you stop being a province resident, most coverage ends, often around the 6-month mark. You need an international or local private plan, expensive and full of exclusions. Watch deductibles, coverage limits, and pre-existing condition clauses. A common horror story: an expat injured abroad and a denied claim due to an excluded activity. Out-of-pocket bills can be financially devastating. Some countries offer public care to residents, but language, paperwork, and standards vary. Expect differences in wait times, language, and equipment. Action items: secure coverage before you leave and keep an emergency fund. Losing provincial healthcare is more than paperwork. It's a loss of security you don't fully feel until it's gone.
If you thought taxes were complicated, wait until you're an expat. Leaving isn't just a flight. It's a tax event. You may need to file a final return. CRA can deem you to have disposed of assets at fair market value. That can create a surprise capital gains tax bill on unrealized gains. Then there are your registered accounts. Your TFSA stops growing tax-free, and the FHSA for first-time home buyers is no longer available. RRSPs can be kept, but withdrawals as a non-resident may face withholding taxes up to 25%. You'll likely need to file taxes in both Canada and your new country, which means more paperwork and higher costs. RRSP contributions for your children could also be affected depending on your residency status. Plan early, get professional advice before you sever tax residency. Budget the departure tax and understand long-term implications for your retirement savings. Taxes change the math on moving, sometimes dramatically.
One quiet advantage of living in Canada is the social safety net, benefits integrated into everyday life. When you leave, many payments stop. Canada Child Benefit and GST/HST credits are tied to residency. They end when you do. Old Age Security, OAS, requires 40 years of residency in Canada for a full pension, and each year spent as a non-resident can reduce your payments. You may still receive OAS while living abroad if you lived in Canada for at least 20 years after age 18, or if you lived and worked in a country that has a social security agreement with Canada, with at least 20 years combined between the 2 countries. If you don't meet these requirements, your OAS payments will stop after being outside Canada for more than 6 months. Employment insurance and provincial benefits are generally not available to Canadians living abroad. The Guaranteed Income Supplement, GIS, Also stops if you're outside Canada for more than 6 months. That can materially change retirement planning and safety nets. If benefits matter to you, model the loss and plan alternate savings or insurance. This trade-off often only shows up decades later. Don't ignore it now. Next, how your political and citizenship ties change when you move.
Another overlooked trade-off is political rights. Once you're out of the country, you lose your ability to vote in provincial and municipal elections. While you can still vote federally, it requires registration and mailing ballots on time, something many expats find frustrating. There's also a bigger issue: passing on citizenship. If you're Canadian and your child is born abroad, they will inherit your citizenship. But under the current one-generation rule, their children born outside Canada would not automatically qualify. However, the government has introduced Bill C3, which aims to remove this first-generation limit. If passed, it would allow Canadian citizens born abroad to pass on citizenship to their children, provided the parent has a substantial connection to Canada. Until the bill becomes law, this remains a risk. And in the meantime, some affected families can apply for a discretionary grant of citizenship.
For both permanent residents and citizens, living abroad involves navigating strict rules and practical challenges upon return. Permanent residents must be mindful of their residency obligation, which requires a physical presence in Canada for at least 730 days within any 5-year period to maintain their status. Failure to meet this requirement can lead to the revocation of permanent residency. For citizens, naturalizing in a country that does not permit dual nationality may require you to formally renounce your Canadian citizenship. While this is a serious decision, it is not necessarily irreversible. A former citizen can apply to resume their Canadian citizenship, but this is a formal process that first requires re-establishing permanent residency in Canada. Furthermore, returning to Canada after an extended period abroad involves significant logistical hurdles. You must reapply for provincial health coverage, which typically includes a waiting period of up to 3 months before benefits are reinstated. Financially, you may have to start your credit history from scratch, making it harder to get loans, mortgages, or even access basic services.
Beyond paperwork and finances lies the deepest trade-off: the emotional cost. The emotional toll is subjective, but you'll miss birthdays, weddings, funerals, the small yet meaningful rituals that give life its sense of connection. Video calls help, but are a poor substitute for being physically present. Distance creates low-level grief. You're often out of sync with the lives of the people you love. Building deep friendships as an adult in a new culture is slow. It takes years to create the trust you left behind. Different social norms and communication styles make intimacy harder to establish quickly. The small daily irritations, bureaucracy, language, missing brands, accumulate into exhaustion. What began as novelty can become chronic stress, and yet, you will also gain new experiences, learn languages, and grow in unexpected ways. Awareness helps. Self-care, community, and intention make the emotional toll manageable. This cost is the silent partner to the adventure, the price of admission for a life less ordinary. Being prepared doesn't erase the ache, but it lets you navigate it with grace. Every expat pays this cost in different ways, and many find the trade worthwhile.
So, money, health, taxes, benefits, politics, residency, and emotion. The trade-offs are real. This video isn't meant to deter, it's to arm you with awareness. Before you pack, notify banks, secure proper insurance, consult tax and immigration pros, and keep contingency savings. Preparation turns surprises into manageable tasks. A life abroad can be a source of enormous growth and joy, but it comes with costs you should account for. Decide deliberately. What comforts are you willing to trade for the life you want? If you're a Canadian living abroad, what was the most surprising trade-off for you? Share in the comments. Your experience helps others.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out the corresponding video on your screen for more engaging content. Explore our channel for even more exciting videos. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Globe Gazette for more amazing stories. We value your support. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.